Kind placement of the mic stand. Usually it's a reminder that I'm not tall. The other day someone bumped into me in line at Starbucks and was just like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were farther away." Anyway, back in Christmas I realized that America's moving backwards. My 13-year-old niece said she loves Monopoly, and she has access to humanity's collective knowledge, and she goes with the 80-year-old equivalent of vanilla-flavored garbage. Which, like, I know no adults ever think about Monopoly. Why would I bring this up? But my therapist says I should talk about my trauma, and, like, it was hard growing up working. This was what I worked with. Like, Harry Potter's short Jewish cousin. And after it was two real guys. In the 80s, if you were bad at sports, group entertainment meant board games. And they were all basically dice rolls and guessing back then. It was like the people who find board games cool as a kid in the 80s were future gambling addicts. Even like the pitches for them were bad. The game of life, save up for retirement. Super boring. Can't even diversify your 401k there. Come on, guys. But the thing, it also got into the Toy Hall of Fame, I recently learned, which I don't know who's in charge of that. I think it's like my 4th grade crossing guard. That'd be like if you're working the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you're like, let's induct Raffi, get him in here. But, now being a nerd is kind of cool a little sometimes, so the term gets devalued a lot. We all have that friend who's like, "Oh, I'm a craft beer geek, guys. I'm a geek too." It's like, no, Steve, you're an amateur alcoholic. But yeah, back when my people were persecuted, and I mean nerds, not Jews for once, we had to meet through coded messages under cover of night, like in Keith's basement when his mom was getting stoned, or we'd go down by the lake where we said we were fishing, which somehow that's cooler. Or like we gather in the vacant lot with the woods where a kind philanthropist buried some porn. Universal experience there. But yeah, it's like, as an old school geek, I always wanted to just be understood. And now I see like the art I love turned into these movies that like, oh, they're fun, but they're also really shallow. They're about as predictable as a Christmas movie on Hallmark. kind of cultural appropriation on people with social phobia. And that makes me think of the cursed monkey paw story trope, where like a selfish wish has horrible consequences tied to it. And that's what that was. And it happened a lot in 2008. First of all, Marvel with Iron Man. In 1996, they were bankrupt. I don't know how they did this 180. Stan Lee made a wish, 2008, and then next year they're bought by Disney. They're getting milked ever since. It seems like Stan Lee, got his multiverse sacred timeline Loki, go him. But, think of all the terrible things that have happened since 2018 when he died. Like, we're all feeling it from that. But not just Marvel. This is I wonder if I could do first perspective here, if there's a camera there, and I look like I'm normal size. ADD guys. Short jokes working tonight. So, not just the comic book geeks. Goths in 2008 wanted vampires to be cool again, but we got Twilight. Monkey paw curse right there. Techies were like, oh, give us new gadgets. Hey, here's a smartphone. And now streets crawling with social media influencers. That's a curse, guys. The biggest upset of 2008 with the monkey paw was when the housing market crashed. And I was like, oh no, I really, really wish the economy would get fixed. Like, cool, now it's 2022, I can't afford a shack in Arkansas. This is terrible. And that brings me, back to Monopoly. So statistically, I don't know if you knew this, the best spots in Monopoly are the ones right by the jail. You win the land ownership game by taking advantage of ex-convicts as soon as they're released. And it's basically about unregulated slumlords strangling competition, like good luck capitalists. And for me that's fitting because I think that, in the 80s and 90s, Parker Brothers bought up all the shelf space on the toy stores, so we wouldn't know about good games like Carcassonne or whatever. They were basically the De Beers cartel of board games. Wow. Oh, they're all preparing for... They're the De Beers cartel of Toys R Us, and we can only buy their blood board games. You all got there before me. That's fine. I appreciate it and respect the game. I blanked out on that one. Anyway, so today, I tell people, like, no, board games are good now. They develop useful skills. Engine building card games teach you balancing resource generation with spending, and that's, like, great for politicians. Ticket to Ride is about the importance of strong infrastructure. And, okay, that's also good for politicians. Whereas Munchkin is all about stabbing your friends in the back, and, now we know what Wiggins like for Joe Manchin. That's all I got. I mean, you're still. Thank you.